know I so badly want to talk about it on Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't want to do it because I'm like, we're doing good. We're
Hmm.
doing good. 98 should be up and running. There we go. Mhm.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, this evening. Alongside of me, my co-host, Jake Belch. Jake, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you, man?
Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. Wow, what a sensational, I'm going to say sensational race weekend out in Las Vegas, Sin City. I love that 1.5 mile track. We got
Oh
our
yeah.
first taste of a mile and a half this Sunday at Vegas, our first one of the season, week 5 in the books. But man, oh man, like I saw a lot of people complaining about how bad Vegas was as a race. But I absolutely thought it was sensational. And the reason why, one caution for cause.
Yes.
That is a testament to how successful and how great these drivers really are. That's incredible. One incident for caution, and it was just a single car wreck. Not
Yeah.
even a wreck, just spinning out.
Yep. No, it's definitely a top 5 on my book. I always love watching Vegas.
So I guess one question I want to ask the audience tonight while we open up: what track in your mind is better, Las Vegas or Kansas? Both very similar, but they have their tricky parts of the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one would you go with, Vegas?
Oh, I'm picking Vegas over Kansas.
Is that because Kyle Larson's really good at Vegas?
I mean, not so much this weekend, a little bit, but no, I love going way out west, and don't get me wrong, Kansas is out central, but no, I like Vegas. Vegas is a fun track for me to watch. Like you said, not a lot of cautions. I mean, you don't really see a lot of cautions at Kansas either, but um I just love the aggressive racing, the different lines guys take, and we'll talk about it later, but pit road,
Yeah, pit
tire
road
wear
is.
off and stuff like that. I'm a Vegas guy.
I'll tell you right now, I thought the 750 package was absolutely sensational this weekend too.
Mhm. Yeah.
They ran the 750 package. Again, I would say between Kansas and Vegas, I like them both. I really do. My driver personally is a lot better at Kansas than Vegas, even though he showed out this weekend. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit later. But I would prefer Vegas. I just think the atmosphere of Vegas is so much more entertaining. Like when you watch it on TV, like the fans really show up. It's Sin City. It's just a big event. And there's nothing wrong with Kansas, and Kansas is a very big event within itself. But at the same time, I just feel like the atmosphere is totally different.
Mhm.
Plus, I do like how Vegas is a little bit more narrower than Kansas. And
Yeah.
I do like the bumps in turns 1 and 2 at Vegas a lot better than Kansas. Or at Vegas, excuse me, than Kansas.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never seen it, but I also think it's cool that Vegas has like their mini Daytona where they take the cars down the strip and have a fun time with it, and make it kind of more than just a race.
Yeah, like I said, it's the atmosphere. It's just the
Mhm.
atmosphere with it, and it always puts on a great race. It really does. And like I said, week 5 in the books here in the 2026 Cup Series season. We are finally out of the West Coast swing. We head down to the Southern tour essentially now. We got
Yep.
Darlington, we got Martinsville, Bristol. Buckle up. It's going to be a very entertaining next 3 weeks. If you're tuning to us live tonight, a couple of things we want to touch base with all of you on. First of all, I think it's time to make the announcement, Jake. Our 2026 Pocono tailgate is back on Sunday, June 14th. We will be up at the Tricky Triangle like we have been the last couple of years with all of you. Tailgating before the race. We'll go live at the track. Again, we will have more information as we get closer to it, but that is on the board. Right now, we are finalizing some kinks on another race date show on the road we're going to be talking about. Hopefully, we can get that finalized very soon as well. If you love what you're hearing, again, follow us, Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast Facebook page. That's where we have a lot of interactions with our fans. YouTube, we are now big on TikTok. Thank you to my co-host Jake Belts. In regards to that, right? We are at TikTok at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. So feel free to follow us over there for some short clips. Getting a lot of interactions over there. And then again, if you missed our live stream on YouTube and Facebook on Wednesday nights, feel free to follow us and smash the follow button on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So multiple ways to interact with us, listen to us, again, if you love what you're hearing. Also, tonight, we have been doing Koozie Mania giveaway the last month in celebration to our wonderful fans of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Tonight, we'll be asking 3 questions randomly, more so when we're talking about Vegas because they're Vegas related. If you want to win a koozie tonight, just hop on our Blown Engine chat line when we ask the question. First one to answer the question will win a koozie. Very simple. Very simple.
Yep.
And with the Blown Engine chat line as well, that is wide open all episode. Feel free. We have multiple topics on the board. If something piques your interest, you want to chime in your thoughts and opinions, feel free. Blown Engine chat line, that's what it's there for. All right. Jake, let's go into the news. Let's kick things off with the news tonight. All news are a few articles from jski.com. Follow them on Facebook, X, or by web at www.jski.com. And the big news this week, Jake, is that Dave Marcus, longtime NASCAR Winston Cup driver, he'll be the honorary starter for the Goodyear 400 at Darlington this weekend down at the Lady in Black. Really, I mean, I wouldn't say he was one of the best drivers of all time, but just a recognizable name in the garage. Had success in the 70s and the 80s, raced all the way, ran the 2002 Daytona 500. He'll be the honorary starter. Man, I hope he has that Goodyear hat on. That's basically the icon of Dave Marcus, man, that Goodyear cap.
Yep.
Also, our Nelson ratings came out, courtesy of jski.com, for the Las Vegas TV ratings. So here we go. FS1 had a 1.44 rating with 2.277 million viewers this Sunday at the Pennzoil 400 Cup race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So looks like attendance and numbers are staying pretty much right where we want them.
Yeah.
Love to see them up a little bit more, but again, can't complain about that. Great job to all the race fans for tuning in. And again, we've been saying it all since the start of the Daytona 500, Jake. NASCAR not just is back for the season, NASCAR is legitimately back.
Oh, yeah.
Every single week they have put on an incredible show with the new package, with the chase format. Fox looks like they're revamped, revitalized, as I would say, with Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, and Kevin Harvick. It's been a fun start. It really has been a fun start to the season. And I think the drivers can appreciate what the season is entail with the playoff system and the point system. I was kind of listening to Dale Jr. Download with Brad Keselowski this week. And he even said, he's like, I love the chase format because he's like, listen, you want the drama? I get it. Game 7 always produces the drama. That was kind of the playoff format. But he's like, this system produces a lot of drama. If someone wrecks you, I'm pissed. So and Brad even brought it up on the Dale Jr. Download. He said, I'm still pissed at Riley Herbst for wrecking me at Daytona. So
every point counts.
Every point counts at this point. I think that's what really has made this season so special to start it off. So again, love the viewership. Love to see the viewership where it's at. Let's continue boosting it up. Let's continue promoting the sport, guys. Let's do this together. All right. Next article This is an off topic from jski.com. Again, the previous article or headliners were from jski.com. Follow them on X, Facebook, and by web, www.jski.com. So, final news, and this one we're going to touch heavily on. And I hope we have some fans of this organization because I really want to get their inside perspective. Earlier this week, it was announced that Jimmy Johnson, Legacy Motor Club, without a question, they'll be expanding to a third car in 2027. Without a question.
Yeah, I mean, we got huge input about that on TikTok.
Massive input. And again, if you're a Legacy Motor Club fan, I would love for you to chime in on this one because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this move whatsoever. None.
Mm-mm.
I think Legacy Motor Club should probably be focusing more majority of their time on the two cars they already have.
That do nothing.
That do nothing. Yeah. I think expanding to a 3-car operation is probably going to be the downfall of Jimmy Johnson's career as an owner in this sport. It really is. These legacy cars have absolutely been, in my personal opinion, atrocious.
Yeah.
Atrocious. John Hunter Nemechek at times rises to the occasion. There's times that he looks good. And then there's a lot of times that he disappears into the sunset. Eric Jones is the same way. The other thing that's going to be interesting that ties into this legacy 3-car operation. Most likely they're going to buy the charter from Rick Ware Racing. Right now, Rick Ware Racing leases that charter to who? Roush Fenway Keselowski for the number 60 car. So if Rick Ware Racing is selling that charter, now RFK might be without a third car because they're on a lease charter agreement with them, which I don't blame Rick Ware Racing because, again, it's a business strategy. But my question is, would you rather see a third RFK car or a third legacy car on the track? And the answer has to be a third RFK car, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you about that. They actually, all three of those cars show competition.
So we did, Jake, not me. I ran some inside information on the Legacy Motor Club and what they've done since 2022 and what RFK has done in that time frame, right? Stats courtesy of driveraverages.com. Let's start off with Legacy Motor Club and why I think, again, this is a terrible decision by them going to the 3-car. Since the start of 2022, and I get it, they were petty GMS in that 2022 season. They have ran 313 races. They've only had 1 win with Eric Jones back in Darlington 2022. They've had 12 top 5 finishes in that stretch, 42 top 10 finishes. They've had an average finish of 22.25, and they've led a grand total of 278 laps. Doesn't sound like a team that's ready for a third car, right?
No.
Let's talk about what RFK has done in that time frame. RFK, since the start of 2022, in 342 races combined with the 3 cars, they have a total of 6 wins, 51 top 5s, 127 top 10 finishes, a 15.4 average finish between the 3 cars, 3 poles, and 1,974 laps led.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, people will be like, "Oh, they've had 3 cars. Legacy's only had 2," but Legacy's 2 cars haven't done shit. You can be like, "All right, I'll remove the worst out of the 3 RFK guys, and RFK will still have better stats than them."
And the thing with RFK Racing, RFK's only had 3 charter teams since the start of last year, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff since 2022, 2023, 2024, that was all Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. Oh, and by the way, they also make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They also made, and last year they didn't, but the years prior, Brad made it in 2024. Brad and Buescher made it in 2023. Buescher made it to the round of 8. Legacy has been nowhere to be found on the track. And for me, with Jimmy Johnson going, we're going to expand to 3 cars. Well, how are you going to expand to 3 cars when your 2 cars aren't even putting up the average finishes that you want? Let alone these legacy cars aren't even top 10. They're not even top 10 cars. They may get a top 10 here and there. RFK is close to being consistently a top 10 car every single week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you also think about it, who's going to be the driver?
Well, that's a big question too, right? That's a big question if Legacy goes to 3 cars. Who's going to be that third Legacy driver?
I mean, obviously anybody in O'Reilly parts will take a ride in Cup anytime they can, but it's not like you're going to get a top guy. Like, I mean, who knows? I would definitely. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if you get an offer to go ride for Cup, you're going to take it,
Mm-hmm.
no matter who the team is. But I don't know. You see those stats? Do you want to race for that team?
No, and I get it that like, and for me, like, I think I said this not this past year, Jake, when we did our preseason preseason show. I think it was last year in 2025, and I said on air to all of our fans, I said what I expect from Legacy in 2025 is just to consistently get better. Right? I need top 20s, consistent top 20s. I need top 15 finishes, and I need I need a good amount of top 10s. They have not been able to do that.
No.
They haven't. And again, for how innovative and analytical Legacy Motor Club is, and with how many former champions are part of that organization with Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, for how bad they've been producing at the track, it almost makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
Makes 0 sense. And now you're going to put a third car out there. And I know a lot of people on our TikTok page were saying, well, it's going to be Corey Heim. It's going to be Corey Heim. Could be Corey Heim, but if you're Corey Heim, why would you want to go over there? And again, you probably want to jump to the Cup Series. I get it. But at the same time, why would you want to go to Legacy? Yeah. I would wait it out and wait until Denny Hamlin retires, or I would wait until one of those 23XI cars open up in case like one of they're shuffling over there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are speculating that it could be Riley Herbst leaving 23XI, heading over to Legacy Motor Club. They got the monster sponsorship. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like for Riley Herbst, it's like that's who you're going to bank your third car on. We've seen him this season, right? We've seen him the last 2 years, but this season specifically, he's actually sitting 23rd in the points, which isn't that terrible. But look what his teammates are doing.
Yep.
23XI is a massive upgrade above Legacy at this point. So
I agree.
I'd be pretty. I don't like the move. I really don't like the move. I just think that they need to stay at a 2-car operation and try to figure this out. Just try to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But and there could be fans that are like, listen, it could be the drivers, it could be John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones. Maybe their equipment is better, but I feel like Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek are much better than what has been produced on the track. I really do. I mean,
I agree.
Nemechek sits 21st in the points, and Jones sits 27th. They're not banging the door for wins. I'll tell you that.
No.
Got Jack who checked in on the Blown Engine chat line. He goes, could Kyle Busch go back to Toyota Legacy?
I think Kyle Busch would love to do anything right now.
I mean, if you're Kyle Busch, I mean, you go from RCR to Legacy. I mean, what are you doing at that point?
Like, no, you're just showing up every week just to drive a car.
It's just a lateral move. I mean, I would be interesting, though, to see Kyle Busch head over to Toyota again. How much money and how much investments will be going on with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the move. I think Jimmy's kind of full of himself going with 3 cars. But, hey, again, it's business, and it's the business side of NASCAR. But my final point on this, it's going to be very interesting to see how it impacts RFK Racing, though, in 2027.
Yeah.
Very interested. Because with Brad, if they lose that charter, which most likely they will, does Brad retire and keep Buescher and Priest as their cars?
That's the thing. I don't know if I'm really done watching Brad K.
I'm not done watching Brad K.
I don't think he's done racing.
Well, that's the whole thing. It doesn't sound like he's done either. But where are you going to? But at this point, like, where are you going to get the charter from? Where are you going to get the charter? I mean, a lot of these teams, a lot of these start and park organizations, just pretty much sold. I mean, maybe Hayek Motorsports with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Maybe that's the charter that you go after. I don't even know if they would do that because Hayek, it seems like they're heavily invested in Ricky. I mean, does Colleague sell a charter with either Ty Dillon or AJ Allmendinger tried? With them coming up with Dodge,
I could see them selling. Only reason being is because they're so committed to the Truck Series right now.
Yeah,
there's never really been anything in the Cup.
But if Dodge comes up through the system, they're going to want a spot in the charter system. So it's like they're going to have to go fishing for a charter at that point. Yeah. You know, it's like
this is the problem with NASCAR, man.
Yep. And this is exactly why they were in a lawsuit. Exactly why they were in a lawsuit. Well, more so for television and viewership and money rights. But
like, if I had the money and I can add a car, why can't I? It's too regulated, man. It's like I get it. They don't want 100 cars out on the track. That's not what people are saying. But it's like,
go back to a 43 car field.
Yes, exactly.
They'll solve a lot of problems. They'll solve a lot of problems right there. Like if this was a 43 car field like what it was in the early 2000s, all the way up until 2014, I think when the charter system went into agreement, I don't have a problem with Legacy buying a third car.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, okay, recognizable brand, a recognizable name, buying another charter, they become a 3-car operation. That's great. We have growth in the sport. But with pretty much 36 full-time drivers and 36 pretty much full-time charters, and you're going to take the lead, or you're going to take the charter off of Rick Ware Racing that leases to RFK right now, and you're going to put more cars on Legacy out on the track instead of RFK. I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah. No,
I'm kind of pissed about
I don't
that.
want it.
Mm-mm.
Or does RFK try to buy the charter from them?
They can't, because I think the sale went through last year, and that's why Jimmy took Rick Ware Racing to court. So that was a court case last year, but
it's all about taking people to court, NASCAR.
Yeah, NASCAR, the new motto, taking people to court, baby.
They're going to have a whole nother fucking series on top of racing.
Anyways, so that's the big news coming out of the garage this week. Jimmy Johnson basically saying there's, without question, we will have a third car at Legacy Motor Club coming soon. So basically, topic number one, if you're listening to us live, feel free to chime in on your Legacy Motor Club thoughts. Again, Jake and I are out on the idea of Legacy having a third charter. Keep it at 2. Focus on the 2 cars. You know, you're not doing much with it.
No.
Focus. Continue getting better. I will say, if they were winning consistently, I probably would be like, you know what? Go for it. I would love to see
yeah.
car, but
yeah, no doubt about it.
Even if they're top 10, even if they're top 10 every single week, but they're not. They're just god awful.
Yeah, or if they were just a little bit more recognized in races, actually talked about, and were seen more of a competitor than what they've been, I'd be like, okay, I'll flirt with the idea then.
So the Legacy, I'm looking at this final stat sheet from Vegas this past weekend, courtesy of NASCAR.com. So the Legacy cars finished 20th and 21st of Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek. Let me ask the audience tonight. While you're watching a race at Vegas, did they mention one time the Legacy cars?
I didn't hear the name.
None. None.
Until they were getting lapped.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, Eric Jones did finish on the lead lap, but John Hunter Nemechek was a lap down. His first car lap down. So, anyways, like I said, topic number one, Legacy. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. One end chat line wide open. Again, every single topic, feel free to chime in on your thoughts and opinions. We'd love to hear your reactions from the race this past weekend at Vegas. So, okay. Lance checked in on the One Engine chat line. He said, yeah, they do. Yeah, they did.
He's probably watching a race from 2015 or something.
Yeah, I know. When John Andretti, Kyle Petty were racing back in the early 2000s. RIP, by the way, Bethlehem legend, John Andretti. Cool. Let's head over to Vegas now. Let's talk about the race within itself. I'm going to pass the mic off to you, Jake, because I think you want to gloat a little bit about Saturday's performance with Kyle Larson. So go for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just another one of those, if you want to race against the best, you got to beat the best. And he kind of proved that on Saturday again. You want to come up to the Cup. This is what you got to deal with. I mean, I didn't watch the entire race, so I didn't really see much that was going on, but I just heard all over the place that it was just a normal Kyle Larson Vegas day. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I like seeing them win, but I want them to see them win in the Cup Series, but I was happy. Yeah. Trophy
hunting. It's interesting you bring it up, right? And Kyle Larson has said it in the past when he comes down to the Xfinity Series. He goes, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series now, sorry. He said it perfectly years ago. He goes, you are going to be competing against me on Saturday or on Sundays. I'm coming down to your series and you have to compete against me. It brings me back to my question. Why did NASCAR get rid of the quote unquote bushwhackers? Back in the early 2000s, and Brad kind of touched on this again. It's not to continue to talk about the Dale Jr. download this past week with Brad Keselowski, but a great episode if you ever get a chance to watch or listen to it. Brad basically said it best. He said, I want more Cup drivers in the Xfinity or O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Truck Series. Let them compete against top-level talent. We already know a Cup guy can go down to the series below and blow the doors off the series. Kyle Larson did it multiple times for years. Kyle Busch did it for years. We all complained about that. How many times did Kyle win those races at the truck and the Xfinity series at the time? And everyone's like, oh, he's beating up on little kids and all that type of stuff. Kyle Busch, one of the best drivers. This is a learning lesson.
Yep.
I want more bushwhackers back into lower level series. I do.
Yeah, I mean, and you said it perfectly. I mean, if you these guys' dreams is to race for a Cup team and have a Cup ride. If you can't beat me in your own division, you're not ready for the division that I'm in. Then,
No.
you know what I mean? Like it's just it's basic, freaking like knowledge. It's people complain all the time. Like you said, when remember that race? Was it 2 years ago when Kyle Larson went down and raced Bristol and like basically lapped every car besides like 8 of them,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "Oh, this was a boring race." All those guys aren't ready.
No.
I shouldn't say they're not ready, but it's like this is what you're going to deal with. Like you have to beat him when you come up to the Cups. He's going to be in every single race.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about that as well, right? It kind of goes back to the question: does NASCAR have a developmental issue?
Oh yeah,
I think so. I think we're rushing kids as fast as possible in the system, and I think NASCAR, what they did was they ended up transforming every single level in the in the Grand National, basically into Major League Baseball's the minor league system model. ARCA is now their single A. Truck is now their double A. O'Reilly's their triple A, and then Cup is obviously the major leagues.
Yep.
And the problem is that some of these kids get these massive sponsorship deals at a young age, and they're trying to get up as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so, for the sponsorship's sake. Why would we want to see Connor Zilic, who's a Red Bull athlete, racing in the ARCA series or the O'Reilly Auto Parts series? Like, we want him at the Cup level. But we're going to talk about Connor Zilic in a little bit. But, like, after watching Zilic these first 5 weeks, I mean, is there anybody not ready for the Cup series at all?
Yeah.
I mean, Dale Jr. legitimately was a once-in-a-lifetime prospect. Dale, and obviously because of Earnhardt name, but he was a really good driver in the Busch series. He won 2 championships and then got called up. Like, everyone goes, well, why was NASCAR in the 90s so much more special? Because it wasn't like a shame to be in the lower level series for a living. Look at Ron Hornaday. Ron Hornaday made a killing in the Craftsman Truck Series for years. In the Busch Series, you had Randy LaJoie for years. He was a career Busch guy. They also had sponsorship models in those lower level series that could allocate those funds and all that type of stuff. But the other difference with those series is they weren't emulating the Cup schedule.
Yeah.
Those other series now emulate the Cup schedule as much as they can, because the whole thing is we got to filter these prospects up. And quite frankly, after watching the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, this past weekend, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a single guy that's ready to be called up. I really do not. And I'm a big Jesse Love guy. I love Jesse Love. I think he is special. I think he's talented. He says the right things. He's a workaholic. I think he's a legit prospect. But I also said the same thing about Connor Zilic. I said Zilic is a generational prospect. And right now, I get it. He's 19 years old, and in 5 weeks, he looks like complete garbage.
Yep.
And he can turn it around. But at the same time, we got to stop rushing these guys through the system as fast as possible. We also need these Cup drivers to go back to the lower level series and beat them. It's very easy, and I'm going to use this guy as an example, and I don't think he's a bad driver. But you look at a guy like Ryan Sieg in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Great, a really good driver in that series, not in top level equipment. It's very easy to beat a driver in that series with that low caliber equipment than it is to, I mean, let's call it as is. I give a lot of shit to Cody Ware, but Cody Ware is in the Cup series and can actually run races.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an easy pass. Cole Custer is not an easy pass.
Well, I'm going to give you another really great example that we witnessed this weekend. And he was in Hendrick Motorsports equipment. Lifelong O'Reilly Parts series. Xfinity, whatever you want to call it. Justin Allgaier.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's
Yeah,
never been caught up? He was in the he was in the best equipment you can think about, and he was absolutely trash on Sunday. I mean, that's just Justin Allgaier. I'll tip my hat to him every single day and give him his freaking kudos when it comes to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. He dominates. He can't race with the big dogs.
Yeah.
And it proved it. Like, dude, this Sunday was the exclamation point on that whole argument that people for years said Justin Allgaier should get moved up. Or everybody thought that Dale Jr. was going to get a charter in the Cup and it was going to be Justin Allgaier. Well, you got your answer this weekend. It ain't him.
Yeah, I mean, Allgaier's had multiple starts for years for Hendrick Motorsports. He has basically been their kind of, I don't want to say development driver because that's kind of a bad term for a 37-year-old driver, but he's been in that like program. And he's filled in for Jimmy. He's filled in for Alex Bowman now. He filled in for multiple drivers in the past for Hendrick Motorsports. Justin Allgaier is very, very talented in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Justin Allgaier is not a cup level driver.
No.
But there is nothing wrong with him being an O'Reilly Auto Parts driver. Nothing. We need more drivers like that. Not everybody that comes up through the system is going to be the next Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson or Kevin Harvick. It's just not going to happen. And to be honest with you, when you look back at, like, I know we're going really in the rabbit hole, but when you look back at Kevin Harvick's career, Harvick, those first 5 years with Richard Childress Racing, was running as a bushwhacker every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Jeff Burton were running in the Busch Series for every single week, it felt like.
Yeah.
But NASCAR has this obsession with, well, the races is getting boring because Kyle Busch is winning all of them and all that type of stuff. We need to stop this. No, why are you stopping it? Why? Because your prospects, your quote-unquote promotional prospects are getting their ass kicked every single week by these guys?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how people have real talent. You put those Cup guys back down to those series if they want to run. I'm not saying you're going to see Chase Elliott every single week run the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. But hell, man, I would kill to see an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series with, let's just say, like a Ryan Blaney running for a Penske Ford and, Joey Logano, taking turns. Same with like Kyle Larson, Hendrick. Like, give me an opportunity. Like Ryan Preece would be awesome to go back down there and just beat these kids up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes these guys are coming through the system so arrogant because they got everything thrown at them.
Yep.
With sponsorship models and all that. And that's why I root for like the guys like Rajay Caruth. Like he did work his ass off to get that HendrickCars.com sponsorship.
Yeah, no,
listen,
you're right.
Everybody is talented until you actually have to go against real competition. Everybody is talented until you have to go against real comp. That's anything in life. That's sports in a nutshell. Yeah, this player might be really good in AAA. Well, he gets called up to major leagues. He bats 100 and he strikes out every at bat. Why? Because they're not throwing straight line fastballs down the plate. It's the same thing in NASCAR. Everyone's special because if you have top tier equipment by Gibbs or Junior Motorsports or Hendrick or whoever it is, Richard Childress Racing, yeah, those drivers are going to look real good because those cars can stick a lot better than what Ryan Sieg is driving.
Yeah.
Like I said, more bushwhackers, please. I know, and anyone who's listening to us that does not know the term bushwhacker, that's new to NASCAR. Back in the early 2000s, that's what they used to call the Cup guys. That would come down and win races in the lower tier series. They would call them bushwhackers.
Another term, sandbaggers.
Yeah, pretty much. So, not to get confused on all that type of stuff. I wanted to clarify that. So, but that's my final thought, basically, from the Xfinity or O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Vegas. Again, I do appreciate that the Cup guys, when they go down, they do win the race.
Mm-hmm.
Tom checked in on the Blown Engine chat line while we were in that deep rabbit hole. He goes, that's how you get big sponsors in the lower series. Say if they will sponsor No Name Kid for 10 races, we'll make sure Busch is in your sponsor truck for 2 more races when he races. Yeah, I think that's, pretty much the sponsorship model. I mean, you got to clean it up. And the other thing, too, is like if the Cup guys do go down, like a majority of the time when they go down, their sponsorship's going to go with them.
Yes.
How many times did you see Kyle Busch with like NOS when he was running the Xfinity Series for all those years? That was a Kyle Busch sponsor.
Yeah.
Discount Tire for years was on those Penske cars in the Xfinity Series. They do go down. They will go down. So, All right, cool. That's that with the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. I'm so sorry, folks. I keep saying Xfinity. It's O'Reilly Auto Parts. Eventually, it will stick.
That's
I do
too
hate the
long.
name. I hate the name of that series. I do. I like O'Reilly
O'Reilly
Auto Parts.
parts.
Yeah, I like O'Reilly Auto Parts. I hate the name for it was like when Monster was the title sponsor of the
Yes.
cup. Monster Energy Cup Series. Like it was and then like when they abbreviated it was like Menkes. Like the
Yeah.
initial. It's like, dude. Anyways. All right, let's talk about the Cup Series though on Sunday. Denny Hamlin. Oh boy. Denny Hamlin and Toyota, man. They came to play. Um Denny Hamlin ended up winning this race. He led 134 laps. And my God, he just. I know you might disagree with me, and that's okay. I think Denny Hamlin was the best car on Sunday. I really do. It's telling to me when a driver who has a pit road penalty has to come through the field, just picks them off one at a time,
Oh yeah.
ends up getting back to the front, and ends up winning this race. For a lot of these drivers who ended up having pit road penalties and all that, it did not seem like they affected Toyota that much. But for Denny Hamlin, what a phenomenal performance once again from the driver of the 11. In the beginning of the season, I said, hey, look, I don't think Hamlin's going to be a big factor with everything that happened in the offseason. Give it a couple more, give him a couple weeks to acclimate. And gosh, I mean, whatever happened to him in the offseason, kind of put in the rear view. He said, this is life. Let's go win races. He found victory lane within race number 5 of this year. And then on top of it, he's just been getting better and better each and every single week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slow start. A lot of big names had a slow start, but yeah, I mean, I'll say I'll give him the second best car. I think at the end of the race when Elliott was coming, I personally think Elliott was better than him. He just didn't have enough laps to catch him.
Yeah.
But no, that entire race, and I put in our post on TikTok. That Christopher Bell was best car on that track all day long.
Yeah.
He went
Go ahead.
around Larson when Larson was leading for a little bit and then kind of fell back. He went around Larson like he was sitting still.
Yeah.
And everybody knows when they go to Vegas, I mean, you bet on Larson.
Yep.
He went around him. He went around Byron. William Byron had a great day. They just went around these guys that they're like, Christopher Bell is getting scary good. And I mean, I see him winning. I personally thought he was going to win that race, but I see the way that Christopher Bell has been racing. I see another 3-4 win season. I think these next 3 weeks you see him win at least one.
So going back to your Bell point, I mean, let's call it as is. I know Reddick won the 3 races in a row, but we could be really realistically talking about Christopher Bell with 3 wins already this year.
Yeah.
Atlanta, he had the issue with Carson Hocevar. Phoenix, Blaney ended up jumping him on pit road and strategy. And in this past weekend, right? I mean, the speed was there until the end of that race. The last 51 laps, his car was just not moving the way it was in the first like 3/4 of the race. But yeah, Christopher Bell, those Toyotas, I'm going to tell you right now, Toyota, this could be a massive, if you're a Toyota fan and you're listening, this is going to be a massive Toyota year. This is going to be a massive Toyota year. I mean, they are off to a scorching start to this season. They have 4 wins in the first 5 races. Ironically, Denny Hamlin's linked to all those 4 of them, right, as team owner, and then, of course, he won his own. But, yeah, I mean, Christopher Bell, and we had somebody, like, comment on our TikTok page. I'll address that, right? In the power rankings, we had Denny Hamlin ranked 4th in the power rankings this week. And one of our followers ended up commenting and said, hey, he just won a race. Why do you guys have him at 4th? Well, let's explain this. Yes, Hamlin's got a better, higher average finish right now than Christopher Bell. But when I look at head-to-head stats, who do you think is the best car on the track in the first 5 weeks? Is it the 20 or the 11? To me, it's 20. So 20. The speed of the 20 is there. And I think, honestly, the speed of the 20 is a lot better than the 11. I just think that the 11 had a better strategy in this race. And then when he got clean air, he was nearly impossible to stop. And then when he got into lap traffic, like you said, at the end of the race, I mean, Chase Elliott was cutting those intervals pretty freaking quick.
Yes.
Pretty quick. I mean, now granted, it broke my heart, but God.
I was rooting for him to catch him.
Yeah, that 9 car. Oh, that's 2 heartbreaks this year so far. And we're
Yeah.
only 5 weeks into the season. But in regards to that, that's why we had Hamlin ranked number 4 in the power rankings. Is because I do think Bell's a better driver. I mean, right now we have Ryan Blaney or Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin. That's our top 4. And for me, the 12 I think is a faster car than the 11. They both have a win, so it kind of nullifies that. Reddick has off to a scorching start. Now, granted, he's been falling off a little bit. He had an 8th place finish last week at Phoenix. He had a 13th place finish at Vegas this past week. Now, Reddick was a top 10 car for majority of the day, though. Reddick ended up finishing stage 1 and 10th, and he finished stage 2 and 6th. So, yes, he's been falling off in regards to, it's very easy to fall off when you're win, and then everything else, right? Let's go to the Blunt Engine chat line real quick while we get to the next topic. Ryan Dickens Jr., he checked in. Thanks for checking in, Ronnie. He goes, do you think we'll ever see Starcom Racing coming back? God, that's a name from the past. That's a name from the past.
I don't.
No. They were a starting park. I mean, they were a fun team, though. Like, everyone who worked for that team, they said that it was a lot of fun. The owner was a great owner. To be honest with you, they were kind of the first ones that really pulled a lot of football players into the pit crew from this.
Yes.
So a lot of things that you see on pit road pretty much kind of stemmed from the early parts of Starcom. But no, do I think Starcom coming back to racing? No, they were a starting park. They sold the charter. I think they're done. But let's get to Jake. Why don't we do a question with the audience tonight? Let's start off with question number 1. And again, folks, you're going to be playing for a Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast koozie. How you win a koozie? Jake's going to ask the question. First one to answer the question on the Blunt End chat line, we'll contact you at the end of the show. We'll ship a koozie out to you. Very simple. Go ahead.
So I'm going to give a little bit of a hint to people who watch me and Matt every week are top fans. This guy has been an answer in other questions that we have asked. So just a little bit of a hint. In 2003, who secured their first win at Vegas and went on to win the Winston Cup? Again, in 2003, who secured their first win at Vegas and went on to win the Winston Cup?
Again, all you got to do is answer Jake's question. First one on the Blunt End chat line. We'll end up first one to answer the question. We'll send a koozie out to you. That's simple. All right. While we get some answers in on that, Jake, let's jump into topic number 2. And topic number 2 going into Vegas, I should say, it all started after coming out of Phoenix. What did we expect from Chevrolet, right? I thought they had a very disappointing day at Phoenix. I didn't think they were fantastic at all. I think they all had issues, but then like the ones that were in the top 5, not race winning speed, Kyle Larson, I look at William Byron. But then we come to Vegas and we had 3 Chevrolets in the top 10.
Yeah.
We had three Chevrolets in the top 10. We had Chase Elliott, William Byron, and we had Kyle Larson. Now, I will say this. I think that Chevrolet still trying to figure everything out. I really do. While the 3 Hendrick Chevrolets finished in the top 10 of Elliott, Byron, and Larson ended up finishing this race in 7th. The next Chevrolet after Larson was Austin Dillon in 12th, which round of applause to Dillon, who's kind of sneakily quiet the last 2 weeks. But once you get past Austin Dillon, it goes all the way down to 17th and Ross Chastain. I personally think for myself that Chevrolet still has a problem. I think Hendrick Motorsports is Hendrick Motorsports. They're always going to figure it out a lot quicker than the other organizations. No doubt about it. Rick Hendrick saw the results at Phoenix. They said it's unacceptable. You got to figure something out in Vegas. Those engineers went to work.
Mm-hmm.
They had a great week at Vegas. But the other Chevrolets, and I look at primarily, I circle Trackhouse Racing. Ross Chastain is really good at Las Vegas. We talked about it last week on picks. Chastain had a 9.3 average finish going into, at Vegas since 2023. He runs really well in the 1.5s. Nowhere to be found this week.
Yeah.
Spire Motorsports, waiting for them to take that next step. They do a lot of cool promotional stuff, aka Carson Hocevar with the Dale Senior throwback. But 22nd, come on, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Austin Dillon, who's again finished 16th at Vegas, finished 12th this week at Vegas. Pretty good back-to-back weeks from Austin Dillon, but look at his teammate, Kyle Busch. Nowhere to be found again. Nowhere to be found. So while we could sit there and say Chevrolet figured out the 750 package, the new body style, and the new aerodynamics, we could sit there and say that Hendrick Motorsports may have, but I don't think the rest of the Chevys have.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna touch on Hendrick Motorsports. I personally just people. I mean, everybody knows how Rick Hendrick is. I guarantee you that meeting on Monday, still not happy, because yeah, they fixed a little bit of the problem, but dude, when Larson is always been out front in Vegas, it's catch me if you can, and it was
Yeah.
I caught you immediately. So I mean, I think they are figuring it out, but the speed's not there, and it ain't consistent.
No, it's not race winning speed.
No.
Like I said, Elliott finishing second. This is his worst track, 1.5. I don't get what it is at Vegas, but he is awful at Vegas. This week he finished second. That was a really impressive race. To be honest with you, to me, Chase Elliott looked like the best Hendrick Motorsports driver this past weekend. Didn't lead a single lap, but his car never died.
No.
While Larson and Byron, their cars in the dirty air kept dying. Elliott started this race in 15th and just progressively got better in the top 10. He ended up finishing stage 1 in 8th, finished stage 2 in 9th, had a bad pit road error, right? 5-second delay on pit road, but came back out there and just continuously got better and better and better.
Yeah.
Like he went from a car that was probably fringe top 10 on Sunday to second and chasing down the leader. Now, when I look at William Byron and I look at Kyle Larson, not terrible finishes by any stretch. Finished 3rd and 7th in this race, respectively. The two of them did lead laps, and when they were in the clean air, they just could not run away from the competition, like you said. We're so used to Kyle Larson taking the lead at Las Vegas, running away with the race and calling it a day. This week didn't happen. Kyle Larson ended up leading 62 laps in this race? Yeah, 62 laps in this race. But Christopher Bell caught him.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin caught him. Multiple drivers caught him. William Byron, same thing. William Byron led 26 laps in this race. Well, second place eventually caught him. So, yes, while Hendrick Motorsports may have seemed like they figured out the 750 aerodynamics to a point, we now need to see Hendrick Motorsports take it from, listen, we're top 5 cars. We need to get race winning speed now. We figured out the aerodynamics. We need to go to race winning speed. And Alan Gustafson, if you have one more damn pit road error, I swear, dude, I'm going to drive to North Carolina myself and have words with you. But like I said, though, I mean, outside the Hendrick Motorsports threesome, and Austin Dillon, I would say I'm pretty impressed with. The rest of them have absolutely been garbage.
Yeah. I can't argue with you on that one, yeah.
I mean, Trackhouse Racing's primarily scratching my head. Like, I mean, Ross Chastain, dude, like, what was that this weekend? No speed whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, he started 17th and he finished 17th. What does that tell you about his day?
He didn't do nothing.
Flatlined. But like I said, I think Chevrolet though, yeah, Chevrolet might be in a little bit of trouble. They might be in a little bit of trouble.
I think we get more. I think we get a lot more data come the next 3 weeks.
Well,
a lot of data that we need that people are probably itching to see. Do they improve? Do they kind of stay stagnant during the next 3 weeks, or do they improve? I mean, you're going to tracks that guys who drive Chevys are pretty good at.
I agree with you. The next 3 weeks is going. Well, I wouldn't even say next 3. Let's say next 6. Next 6 weeks is going to be a lot of data telling. You have Darlington this week. You have Martinsville and Bristol, so you got 2 short tracks. You come after Bristol, you go out to Kansas. That's another 1.5 miler where they've had a lot of success at. And then you go to Talladega, which is super speedway, and then you go to Texas.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a couple 1.5s and a couple short tracks, and you got the Lady in Black. So it's going to be a lot of interesting information coming out over the next couple weeks. Now, over the next 6 weeks, after that Texas race, we might be looking at it going, hey, the 3 Chevrolets of Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Kyle Larson, they're doing their job. The rest of them are not.
Yeah.
Or they could be like, listen, we figured out the aerodynamics package. It's going to be telling. I mean, again, I do think that the body style has completely changed that car. The 750 package with the combination of the 750 package, there's a lot of factors that are going on right now in the Chevrolet camp.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Trackhouse Racing, listen, super disappointed in Shane Van Gisbergen. I was, he had a string of races. I was like, okay, Shane, we see you. Ended up finishing this race in 36. He dropped from 5th to 16th in the points. That's how deadly this system is, dude. That's how deadly this system is. He collected 1 total point in this race. Finished behind Cody Ware, by the way. Oof.
Yeah, it was not a good day for him. I don't
and
know
then-
if the Cinderella story is slowly coming to an end.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. The other one I wanted to talk about while we were talking about the Trackhouse Camp is Connor Zilic. I mean, Connor Zilic, man, is off to probably one of the worst starts I've ever seen out of a rookie. One of the worst starts I've ever seen out of a rookie. I mean, a lot of drivers are crediting it's like a hey, welcome to NASCAR moment, but I don't even know if it is. Like this is becoming disgustingly awful. He finished this race in 32nd. Currently, right now, he sits 35th in the points. He's got 2 DNFs. He's got an average finish of 27.6. Like, he just cannot get out of his own way right now.
Nope.
And when we talked about how clean, in the beginning of the show, we talked about how clean this race was, and there was 1 caution for error and for incident. It was Connor Zilic. He didn't see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wanted to go down pit road. Ends up spinning himself out. So, again, I mean, generational prospect, sometimes we just need to stop using that term.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Connor Zilic is going to be a bad driver. I'm not saying that at all. But we just need these drivers to start growing. We need them to start growing. It kind of goes back to our developmental discussion earlier in the show. So, Jake, let's get to question number 2 on tonight for the koozie. Real quick, Jack checked in on the Blend Engine chat line for the koozie question about 2003 driver who won at Vegas for the championship. He said Johnson. That's actually incorrect. Let's go to question number 2.
We'll go to 2. In 2018, for the first time, Vegas had 2 dates on the Cup schedule. What track lost their date on? What track lost their date for the second Vegas date? So, which track did Vegas take over their second date for in 2018? And it's actually, I like this track, so.
Do you really?
I do. It's one of my oddballs that I like. It's an oddball track that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
It's the week comes and it goes type of race.
It's usually good. It's usually in good temperature climate too.
Yes, I like this track.
Again, all you got to do, first one to answer the question. We got 2 questions out there now for you, Jake. Repeat them one more time for our fans who are listening, and then we'll get into the next topic of conversation.
First one we put on was in 2003, who secured their first win at Vegas and went on to win the Winston Cup. And then in 2018, for the first time, Vegas had 2 dates on the Cup schedule. What track lost their second date due to Vegas?
Yeah. So
I gave a hint for question 1. I'll give a hint for question 2 because there's a lot on the East Coast. It's on the East Coast.
Yeah. So again, koozie, your answer it. First one to answer on the Blend Ninja chat line. Again, feel free. We'll send out a koozie to you. So, all right. Topic number 3. Right. So, like I said, we talked about the Chevrolets. We talked about Hamlin and Toyota. We talked about the Chevrolets. Let's talk about the Fords now. And I'll say this. On Sunday, I didn't see much from the Fords, except for one organization, RFK. The RFK cars had speed this past weekend. My problem with the RFK cars is, man, if they can just learn how to qualify on Saturdays, their lives are going to be so much easier on Sundays.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All 3 RFK cars, right? Buescher finished 6th in this race. He qualified 10th, not a bad starting position. You had Brad Kay, who finished 10th in this race, qualified 28th. And then you have Priest, who ended up qualifying 8th and finished 11th in this race. But these RFK cars, man, like this week, the qualifying may have not been terrible outside for Brad, but in the previous weeks, they've been awful at qualifying. But this organization, this is the organization I'm really excited about, in my personal opinion. Priest ended up winning the Clash. I do think that Priest ends up capturing the checker flag this year in 2026. I expect Brad to probably find victory lane very soon. He has, to me, Brad's been off to a really good start. Last year, we talked about how bad of a start he was in. Didn't get a top 10 until the Coke 600. That was his first top 10. That was 12 races in. Now, granted, he had a new crew chief in Jeremy Bolins, But this year, they are gelling together. He looks like old Brad Keselowski, minus the qualifying. If he could just qualify better, oh man. And the one thing I love about Brad too is he's not afraid to throw strategy out there.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys all want to pit? I'm not pitting. I'm going to run until I get either a caution or I've got to come down pit road. And he did that the other day on Sunday. He's always willing to gamble. And oh man, I do love watching Brad K. And again, you asked me earlier in this show, do you think Brad retires? I'm not ready for Brad to retire,
No.
dude. I'm not.
And I think he's shown that he's not ready the way he's starting this year.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're off to a really good start in that 6 team. And then Buescher. I mean, this was a driver a couple years ago. We were talking about, hey, this guy's going to take the next step. This is going to be a championship caliber driver. Had a down year last year. But, Buescher, again, he's gotten caught up in some stupid mistakes early in the season. But I really do expect Buescher to probably find victory lane as well. Yes, I'm saying it right now on air. It is March 18, 2026 at 9:04 on the East Coast. I expect all 3 RFK cars to be in victory lane this year. I do. There's nothing that's stopping me from not expecting that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you can't not agree with that considering the way that they started this season.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Buescher is leading the charge in that camp. He sits 9th in the points, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Buescher, he has, 2 top 10s so far in the season? He's only led 4 laps. I expect that lap lead to go up. Brad sits 12th in the points. Last year, he was dead in water. He sits 12th currently in the points with 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. He's led 14 laps now. Granted, a lot of it's off of the strategy of the pitting. And then I look at Priest. Priest right now sits 13th. So all 3 of those cars are in the chase, quote unquote. With Priest only having 1 top 10, and that was I forget where that was. I apologize. But again, I mean, what I've seen from RFK this year, and listen, this is a team that goes to Darlington. There's going to be a lot of emotions. They have the Greg Biffle number on the car this week in the font. I expect RFK to make some noise in Darlington, and I really have been impressed what I've seen out of that organization coming through the first couple of weeks of the season. And considering that Ford, outside the RFK cars, the only other Ford that's been really competitive is Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, which this weekend really threw me off with. I guess I would say all the Penske cars actually, because usually they're. Sorry, Matt. I'm trying to get you your answer on where he finished in the top 10.
I can pull it up while you make your point.
But no, I mean, dude, and usually Blaney is really good here. I mean, what did he finish? 16th.
He finished 16th, but he got caught up in a stupid pit cycle.
He did. I mean,
so he ended up coming down pit road, and then Zillage ended up spinning out.
But Logano, I feel like, is usually not that this is his best track by all means, but I feel like usually he's a factor. Cindric, not so much, but
Cindric once again got caught up with the pit stuff.
But I mean, if you look at it, so Logano 15th, Blaney 16th, Cindric 19th. I mean, they all kind of finished right there together. So I mean, I would take. I mean, but Blaney qualified 6th, Logano qualified 21st, and Cindric qualified 31st. So I feel like they all progressed during the day. Besides Blaney, but I do believe, I agree with you that Blaney was the best car out of the 3 of them throughout the day. And I feel like Blaney would have had a top 10 finish if it wasn't for that pit road bullshit. But
yeah, going back to, let's go back to Priest real quick for a second. I did find the answer. He ended up finishing 9th at Atlanta, so that's where his top 10 came from.
Okay.
But in regards to Penske, right? Blaney had a good race all the way until that pit road when Zillage spun out. And same with Cindric. Cindric came down on pit road, ended up they were saying that, he's going to be the leader. Well, when the time of caution, the leader passed him on pit road, so he didn't get out in time. So he had to start all the way at the tail of the lead lap, right? So that's what happened with Cindric. Logano's day started on Saturday. They just really, really missed the ball. And it just snowballed into another clunker of a performance.
Yeah. And I'm also here, I'm looking at their best lap speeds. Not one of those 3 Penske cars made it out of 30 seconds, by the way. You go up to the guys who finished in the top 10, they're doing 29 halves.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And I think Hamlin, if I'm not mistaken, got to 28 something, didn't he?
Fastest lap was Denny Hamlin with a 29.45.
Okay, so I thought he got to 20. I don't know why I thought he got 28. That's really fast.
I think he qualified with a 28.
Yeah. But again, like when I look at, but like kind of meshing the Fords together, right? Like RFK, really impressed with what I've seen from the start of the season. Blaney's still holding the banner at Ford. But man, oh man, like it is difficult. If you're an RFK fan, you've got to be feeling really good right now, especially with the way that Brad's season started out last year. That was
Yeah.
awful. One top 10 through the first 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This year, total night and day. One top 5, two top 10s, and he sits 12th in the points. Like I said, all three of those cars right now currently sit in the chase.
Yep.
So, okay. We got 2 questions still out on the board. Let's throw out the third question there, Jake.
All right. Third question is going to be, on Sunday, Hamlin secured his 61st win, and that was his third win in Vegas. And what year did Denny Hamlin win his first race at Vegas? And a little hint: it was not that too long ago.
Yeah, when we did that question, and I saw the answer to that, I'm like, really? Like that was it? Okay.
It's actually a 2-part answer because you either got, and this is going to give you a little bit more of a hint, but you got to pick spring or fall race.
So again, all 3 of our questions have been thrown out there for your chance tonight to win a Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast koozie.
So I mean, you basically got a 50-50 shot to win this koozie.
Yeah. I will say this: if we don't get any of the correct answers, I might put them up tomorrow on our Thursday question of the week.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, try to do something like that. But okay, Jake, let's get to the next point from Vegas. Let's get to the next topic conversation. Let's get to our crew chief's view this week. And again, we started this topic the last couple weeks. Really like this segment with all of you. But this week's segment on our crew chief's view is the Las Vegas pit road. This past week, there was 8. There was 8 drivers ended up getting speeding penalties coming down that pit road. Chase Briscoe, Justin Allgaier. Allgaier got a penalty, had to do a pass-through penalty, ended up getting nailed again for another pass-through penalty. Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, and Carson Hocevar. They all endured pit road speeding penalties at one point in this race. Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs, well, they recovered pretty well.
Yeah.
They recovered very well. One ended up winning the race. The other one, Ty Gibbs, was coming up through the field, finished top 5. And Chase Briscoe recovered, right? Briscoe ended up finishing 8th in this race. Now, the others, when I look at Josh Berry, who won this race last year, very disappointing day. Todd Gilliland and Carson Hocevar. Well, Hocevar ended up finishing this race in 22nd. We had Josh Berry, who ended up finishing this race in 31st. And then we had Todd Gilliland finish this race in 34th. And then Allgaier was the final one that got the penalty. And he ended up, if I'm not mistaken, bear with me. He ended up finishing this race in 25th. So penalties ended up killing a lot of these drivers. But what I wanted to talk about is what makes Las Vegas pit road one of the most difficult in NASCAR. And we kind of heard it in the Fox booth. Larry McReynolds, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, they all kind of talked about it, right? But this pit road, where it starts on a bank, right? And we saw in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, one of the drivers had to get all 4 tires into the box. Almost missed the box because of the angle of the pit road. Then on top of it, while you're going down pit road, there's I think Larry Mack said there's 18 sections of pit road that you have to follow and maintain the speed. But they're not the same distance because this pit road curves. It's not a traditional straight line down like you see at Talladega, Daytona, Bristol, all these different types of tracks. This pit road absolutely curves around the tri-oval. This pit, and again, these guys are going probably through turns 3 and 4. You guys are going, or they're going about 165, 170 miles per hour into the turn, and then you got to make a real hard left. And then honestly, you're still picking up and rapid speed around that pit road. So again, it's not a surprise that there was 8 drivers that had speeding penalties, but man, again, like when you go to Vegas as a driver, you have to realize that this pit road is extremely difficult and it causes the most issues in the whole entire sport. I thought that was pretty interesting from this past weekend because again, I loved how the booth kind of talked over it as a crew chief like kind of perspective, but I also enjoyed how they analyzed essentially why it's so difficult because it continues just curving and curving and curving. Um, again, every time we go out here, we always get those stupid penalties. Again,
Yeah.
Allgaier never got the hint that you got to slow up on pit road. Again, he did a pass through penalty. He ends up getting nailed for another pass through penalty. Kind of killed his day in a nutshell.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, did you see those guys come out of the end of turn 3, beginning of turn 4, and they're doing a dive down, and they're basically locking them up. I mean, because guys use all. If you watch Vegas, there's multiple lines that guys use going through turns. Either low, you're high. Guys ride middle, so it's like you better hope you're on the bottom line. You ain't gonna slow somebody up because I mean, you watch it. You watch the tires get locked up on that, dude. You hit that line really damn fast, and you got to be at 45 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting too is because there's like you can watch there's like a highlight reel of like drivers that have issues getting on that pit road. And for years, how many near wrecks were there? Actually, William Byron was involved in a wreck a couple years ago in a race. Danica Patrick almost screwed Dale Jr. over. Anthony Alfredo and Alex Bowman almost had issues back in 2021. This past weekend, we saw Zillage ended up spinning because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was getting down pit road. It's not an easy pit road to get onto. And if there's someone behind you that does not know what you're doing, oh boy, there could be a massive wreck right into the field.
Yep. I mean, it's more so of the fact that drivers have got to. I mean, and you see it every week. Guys put their hands out. They're going in, and I mean, it's more so of. And I don't even want to say experience. It's more so of opening your eyes and watching. I mean,
yeah.
I personally, Matt, to be honest with you, I'm surprised. I mean, you can't change it. You can't change the way pit road is at Vegas, but
no, it's
I'm
unique.
so surprised, dude, that they don't open it that like, oh, you go down before you get to turn 3.
Yeah, but that makes the unique part of that track. It just
For sure. It's just how NASCAR's been with this whole driver safety, which I'm not against that at all.
No.
But yeah, no, it can get terrifying, man. Like Connor Zillage could have fucking wrecked him bad.
Yeah, and we're just lucky it was just a single car wreck.
Yeah,
which it was just essentially a Zillage just spinning out. So, but yeah, Jake, this week that's our crew chief's view, and that is the discussion of Las Vegas pit road. So, like I said, multiple topics on the board, blowing into chat line wide open. We want to hear some of your opinions as well. And then let's talk about actually the post race stuff. Multiple drivers having issues in this race with each other. I'm going to pass the mic off to you. You're going to start off with the one. I'm going to talk about the other.
All right. So I don't know how you could have missed it because the guy never shuts the fuck up on the mic, but on his in-car radio. Before I start, I don't hate Kyle Busch. I am a Kyle Busch fan. I've always liked Kyle Busch. Sunday really made me feel different about Kyle Busch. You come on the in-car radio and say, I don't know the word for word, but basically somebody go tell the fucking 5 car, I'll just fucking do it after the race. Because Larson was trying to get around him and Kyle Busch is racing him like Kyle Busch is in the lead when Larson was in the lead and you're about to go 2 laps down. You have no fucking business being in the way of the leading car who's faster than you and you're blocking them. And it really threw me through a loop because if you watched over the last few years of Larson coming up, him and Kyle Busch actually, since Kyle Busch got to RCR, is now in a Chevy, they work together a lot.
Yep.
If you didn't know NASCAR no teammates, you'd think they were teammates. So I was just like, I'm listening to that, and I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, typical fucking Rowdy. Always got an opinion on something, and for one, and I mean more times than none, but I'm like, get out of the way, dude. You sucked all fucking day. And it's like, oh, yeah, someone tell its 5 car to stop racing me this hard. Get out of the way, dude. You're a lap down.
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit really fired me up.
That was definitely incident number 1. Incident number 2, I'm going to take on. that involved two former Trackhouse Racing drivers of Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain. These two are just going at it all week long too, by the way. Suarez went on to SiriusXM with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone, basically talking about how, if I threw a punch at him, it would cost $50,000. Sponsorships don't want bad publicity. But the third thing is Ross knows that he wouldn't last 5 seconds with me. Ross then proceeds to talk last night and goes, we're not friends. We never have been friends. Suarez on Sunday basically said, it's been a two-faced relationship with Ross over the years and all that type of stuff. These two, where did this stem from? So if you're watching the race, 4 laps to go. Chastain's coming up to Suarez. If you watch Chastain's in-car camera on HBO Max, which I did, you see Chastain coming up to Suarez. Suarez kind of runs up the higher line. Chastain felt like Suarez was going to put him in the wall. At the end of the race on the cooldown lap, Chastain ended up hitting Suarez's car, basically saying, don't do that again, essentially. The two of them get on the pit road, both exchange words and all that type of stuff. And now all of a sudden, like I said, Suarez and Chastain are taking shots at one another left and right. Now, where I will defend Ross Chastain. Shocker. Matt's defending Ross Chastain. I always do. Okay. Where I'll defend Ross Chastain on this situation. Daniel Suarez has an issue with what happened with him at Trackhouse Racing. He does. And for anyone that doesn't think that's the case, you're completely wrong. There's been 3 races this year, and Suarez in 3 of those 6 races, including the Clash, has had run-in issues with all Trackhouse drivers. He had issues with Shane Van Gisbergen at the Clash. He had issues with Connor Zilic on Circuits of the America, and he had issues with Chastain this past weekend. While do I think Suarez meant any harm to Chastain's day? No, I do not. They were racing for 16th and 17th respectively, or 17th and 18th respectively, excuse me. I do think that Suarez has a little chip on his shoulder with what those Trackhouse cars have been doing without him. And like I said, the two of them continuously are taking shots at each other all week. It's actually been very fun to listen to and very fun to watch, because this is exactly what NASCAR needs. They need a heated rivalry. And I think that Suarez versus Trackhouse Racing is starting to become that heated rivalry that we've been all striving and basically looking for. They're not hurting each other. They're not wrecking each other. They're not doing anything. They're getting into fights. And I love it.
No, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I also heard an interview from Suarez saying, anybody who thinks that I'm an ill will against Trackhouse, I don't. I'm just racing hard.
Yeah, that's...
You can kind of read between the lines. He's butthurt.
Yeah, read through the tea leaves. I mean, like I said, you have issues with 3 of the Trackhouse guys, and you don't have an issue with what Trackhouse Racing did.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, I get it. Like, SVG and Chastain you want to have beef with, but Zillage has been awful, and you're having issues with Zillage.
Yeah.
So those were the big conflicts coming out of Vegas this past week. We had Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, and then we had Suarez versus Trackhouse Racing continued. So, Jake, final segment coming out of Vegas. Let's talk about our biggest surprise, biggest loser real quick, and we'll get to our Darlington picks. I'm going to start off with you. Biggest surprise.
So I got biggest surprise for good and bad. I touched on bad already, but that's Ryan Blaney. I don't think he had a bad day. I'm just surprised at the finish. And my good would be Ty Gibbs, who has actually shut you and me up for the past few weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We look like jackasses, but at the end of the day, you got to give the guy props when it's due. So I got to give it to Ty Gibbs, but I'm giving it to Ty Gibbs for the past few weeks of his progression. Must have been watching the podcast. I was like, I need to shut these two morons up.
TikTok. It's the TikTok,
it's
right?
TikTok.
Yeah, he's a TikTok gen, and we called him out. I called him out, and 3 straight top 5s for Ty Gibbs. I mean, don't look now, but that 54 looks really good. I will 1,000% eat crow on that. It was more of a put up or shut up type of year for Ty Gibbs. So far through the first 5 races, the last 3 have been phenomenal.
Yep.
Give him a lot of credit. Give him his roses. I hope to continue seeing that progress forward. We go to Darlington this upcoming week, which is a Joe Gibbs Racing track.
Mm-hmm.
I expect a lot out of the 54. So for me, my biggest surprise this week, biggest winner, I'm going to say is Chase Briscoe. Awful at Phoenix. Blew a right rear, blew a right side tire last week at Phoenix. Ended up having to qualify like really early this past week. Ended up qualifying 18th for this race. And listen, with the new formula and the new model of qualifying, if you do not do well the week before, you're pretty much just sitting duck for the following week. So Chase Briscoe kind of got himself out of this. Had an early pit road penalty, ended up getting out of that pit road penalty, got back on the lead lap, finished this race in 8th. It was definitely a hard working day for the 19 team, and hopefully this is we always talk about it. NASCAR's a rhythm sport. Hopefully that this top 10 is finally the one that gets them over the hump and gets them back on the right track in 2026 from what we saw last year in 2025.
Yep, I agree with you.
Biggest loser. Your biggest loser.
Oh, my biggest loser? Oh, I mean, I guess I kind of both touched on them. I mean, I guess my biggest loser. I don't know if I have a loser. I have losers. I guess I'm going to go with the Penske cars.
Okay.
More so Ryan Blaney. I don't really consider a loser, but at the end of the day, expected more out of that 12 car. Like you said, I mean, the speeding. I mean, not his problem on pit road. It is what it is, but you saw other cars come from the back. So,
yeah, for me, my biggest loser this week, Jake, and you kind of touched on him in the last segment in regards to Kyle Busch. And we're going to kind of get deep a little bit with Kyle Busch now. Kyle Busch is not off to a good start. Kyle Busch is almost a once was at this point. He, to me right now, he sits 22nd in the points. He has not had one top 5, one top 10 to start the season at all. And he's led 19 total laps, and he's got a DNF. Kyle Busch was 2 laps down at Vegas. At one time, Kyle Busch was the driver that we looked at that always went, every single week we got to pencil in that car to win this race. At this point, I can't pencil in any tracks for Kyle Busch to win a race. And for me, has there ever been a driver that's so checked out at RCR racing outside Kyle Busch? I don't think so.
no.
Kyle Busch, we might be seeing the dwindling of a career that was highlighted so successfully. Since the start of 2020, Kyle Busch does not have that many wins. In fact, Kyle Busch has a grand total of, I think it's 6 to 7 wins since the start of the decade. Kyle Busch ended the 2010s with a championship under his belt. The fall from grace from a superstar driver is we are watching it in front of our eyes. And everyone can sit there and say, well, he left Gibbs and all that type of stuff. Maybe Joe Gibbs was right. Maybe Joe Gibbs was right. Maybe the sponsorships were right. I think that at some point, I think Kyle Busch, again, was an elite driver. I think Kyle Busch at best now is a pedestrian driver. And I think what we continuously talk about when we talk about Kyle Busch is, oh, you know, if he's in this equipment, this equipment, and this equipment. And I get it, RCR is not good equipment. But at the same time, there's a reason why Kyle Busch is an RCR equipment. No other team wanted Kyle Busch. He is a once was.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, after this past weekend and watching him through the first 5 races after that pole at Daytona, I'm like, okay, maybe Rowdy's back. Maybe. But after watching the last 5 races, I got to sit there and say, this is going to be a long season for my Kyle Busch fans. And
Yes,
to be
it
honest
is.
with you, he's going to probably leave RCR at the end of the season. He's probably going to dwindle the rest of his career in mid-tier teams. He's not going to go to Hendrick Motorsports. He does not fit the Hendrick model at this point. Kyle Busch, again, his career is pretty much over. Put a fork in it. And I'd be happy to eat crow if I'm completely wrong about it. But at this point, it's done. It sucks. The days of Kyle Busch winning races, flipping out on the radio. He still flips out on the radio, but winning races along with it, it's over.
Yeah.
That's my
I mean,
biggest loser coming out of Vegas this week.
There's no statistics or stats that can really go against that either. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you're just gonna be known as a guy who freaks out on the fucking radio, laps down, telling the leader to get out of the fucking way.
I mean, his average finish right now is a 21.2. 21.2 for Kyle Busch. I mean, you got Darlington coming up. Okay. You got Darlington, Martinsville, Bristol, Kansas, Talladega. Over the next 5 weeks, we're really going to see what Kyle Busch is made of. Because if he cannot muster himself into probably a couple top 5s, top 10s, or even a win, his career's over.
Yeah, and we know the only race I can circle to say that he might win?
Talladega.
Talladega, because anybody can.
Talladega. Maybe Bristol, but I don't even know if Bristol is even an option at this point. It sucks. But I think as NASCAR fans, we have to realize that we are at the era of Kyle Busch like we were with Jimmy Johnson at the end of his career, with the ending of Richard Petty at the end of his career. Great drivers eventually find the end of the light, which I think that's what makes Denny Hamlin even more amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he was a driver before 2019 that had 33 career wins. He's at 61 now.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, his back 9 of his career went this way. Kyle's went that way.
Yeah.
His went up,
right.
Kyle's went down. So that's why I think I get so passionate about Denny Hamlin winning. It's just because I'm watching something spectacular that I don't think we'll ever see again. I really don't. And with all that being said, we're going to take our green and white checker tonight in Las Vegas. So, all right, Lady in Black, Jake. Darlington, first trip of the season down to the Lady in Black. Let's give our audience the picks this week. So in the preseason, I always have my notepad. Sorry. All right. So in the preseason, Jake, you chose Ryan Blaney to win this race. Are you sticking with him?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with him.
Ryan Blaney
Doesn't have the greatest average finish, but I'm sticking with him.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Better than my preseason pick. I chose Eric Jones. I literally took a whole segment of knocking Legacy Motor Club, and I picked Eric Jones to win this in the preseason. I'm gonna mulligan my pick this week with Eric Jones, and I'm gonna actually go with Bubba Wallace.
Okay, he is good here.
I'm going with Bubba Wallace to win this race this week. And according to driveraverages.com, it's got a 10.3 average finish with 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, 2.8% of the laps led since the start of 2023. Yeah. I like him. Listen, he talk about a driver that, a lot of people are talking about maturity and growing and all that type of stuff. I mean, this is a driver that he is really good to start the season.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, he's almost a lock to get a top 10 almost every single week now.
Yeah, I mean, he has impressed me. I think that Indy win did it, bro.
Yeah, even his worst track at Coda, he had a good week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mulligan Eric Jones this week. I'm going with Bubba Wallace. So I'm going Bubba. You're going Ryan Blaney. Let's talk about drivers to watch this week at Darlington.
Drivers to watch. I'm going to say drivers to watch. I'm going to pick 2. Brad K.
Ooh.
And we talked about him. We talked about him a lot tonight. Chris Buescher.
Those are some good picks. Those are good picks.
I'm going RFK, man. They're hot right now.
I hope I convinced the audience with RFK and then watch. You're going to finish 30th. I like those picks a lot. I really do. I mean, I actually saw Brad K's last win live at this track back in 2024, and
you know what's weird? He's only won it one time.
Yeah. Well, it's weird too for me with Brad. Well, when Brad won this race in 2024, there was a guy in our section that was so drunk. He was drinking like liquor, and it was hot. It was like 94 degrees. Just drinking liquor out of a brown bag. He ends up jumping up on the catch fence. And if you watch the victory and like Brad's doing burnouts, you can see the guy on the catch fence. And South Carolina PD were like, get down. Like they were yelling at him. Like it was so funny. Like that guy, I was like, man, that guy's celebrating Brad's win more than me. I chose him that week to win. So, I love Brad at this track. I don't know what it is. I love him at Darlington. Now he's just got to qualify well. If he just qualifies great, it would be fantastic.
Yes.
But one to watch, I'm going with Chase Briscoe. And as I said before, NASCAR is a rhythm sport. Picked up his first top 10 of the season this past weekend at Vegas. He's got 2 wins at this track, both at the Southern 500s. Led 17% of the laps since the start of 2023. 11.2 average finish. He's in Joe Gibbs Racing. That 19 usually does very well at Darlington. I'm going to go with Chase Briscoe for the driver to watch.
I like that. He is his stats. He's pretty dominant at this place.
And then your dark horse.
People are gonna say, "Why are you picking him as a dark horse?" Because he sucks here. But I'm picking him as a dark horse because I can. And that's gonna be the 5 car. I'm gonna predict it right now. He's gonna fucking spin out. So I mean,
is that really a dark horse? He's the best driver on the circuit.
no, he's got a freaking 19.2 average finish.
Okay, no, it's just funny.
I should say it's not really.
I never see
the reason I don't. He's got a horrible average finish here. Like, yes, he's led a shit ton of laps. He's won here. He's got top 5s. He's got top 10s. The last few times he's raced here, he can't get out of his own fucking way.
Yeah, that's true. And he had nice paint schemes too the last 2 times.
Yeah, and this year there was like not even fucking worth it.
Yeah, well, a lot of them aren't. The only one that's doing a paint scheme is Carson Hocevar, which I guess that was more.
RFKs are doing. Aren't an RFK doing the Greg Biffle?
Well, they're doing the Greg Biffle number plates. But I mean, the one thing with off topic before I get my dark horse. I mean, with Hocevar, man, like, and I love my guys over at NASCAR Gambling Podcast, and Cody Z loves Carson Hocevar, and I'm gonna be. I'm sorry, Cody, if you're listening, but I'm a Hocevar hater, dude. I'm a Hocevar hater. You got an honored nickname in the Hurricane because you just wreck everybody. Now all of a sudden you're going out there with the nice Dale Senior paint scheme from like 1981, and I get it, that was Chili's idea, but who the heck came up with this idea that he's the next Dale Earnhardt? Here's the difference between Earnhardt and Hocevar. Earnhardt won.
Yeah.
Straight up, Earnhardt won. And you could say it's Spire, Matt, like yada yada. Like, Hocevar beats the piss out of his equipment and can't get out of his own way mechanically. And then when he's close to winning, he ends up wrecking the field. So, like, he has a stupid honor nickname, the Hurricane. You know what? It's my duty now to be a Hocevar hater. It is my duty to be a Hocevar hater. And, like, the sad part is I defended him. I defended him so much. But, like, there's so many people that have now annoyed me with Hocevar, and this paint scheme just was the icing on the cake.
Hey, Dale Jr. said on his podcast he likes it.
I'm happy.
He's about it. He's about it.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that Dale Jr. likes it, and I'm happy Hocevar is going to have a fun kick out of it. But like, my gosh, this whole Hocevar is the next Dale Earnhardt stuff. Can we kill this, please? Can we personally kill this?
I mean, at the end of the day, I look at it as like I think it's cool for Hocevar. I mean, he grew up a diehard Earnhardt fan. I mean, look at if you watch him freaking play video games, he's got the number 8 cart plaque posted all over the fucking background.
I get it, but I think, my God, but you're not Dale Earnhardt. Like,
no,
stop. Like, and that's why I think I get so mad with Fox with this whole, like, oh, the Hurricane's coming. Like, stop. You're just encouraging the stupidity at this point. Like, stop.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, I mean, if you're Hocevar, you got to sit there and be like, dude, you didn't get a good nickname. You got a nickname because of the bad shit you do.
I don't even know who came up with the nickname. I think it was just Fox.
Who the fuck knows? I actually think, was it Kevin Harvick?
It might have been. It
was Kevin Harvick or Clint Boyer. I mean, I could probably say more Clint Boyer. I could
definitely say it was Boyer. Boyer gets so excited over this stuff. I don't know. I just when they came out that paint scheme, I'm just scratching my head going, are you serious? Like, we are really running this whole Earnhardt Hocevar nonsense into the ground. Again, for all my Hocevar lovers and protectors and all that type of stuff, here's the difference between Hocevar and Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt won races. Hocevar hasn't won. Stop.
Yeah, we're saying this, and then watch, he's going to fucking win on Sunday. And it's going to be all Carson Hocevar fans next fucking Wednesday in the fucking comments. And the whole episode is going to be about fucking talking to these Hocevar fans.
I hope so. You know what? I hope so. This is your opportunity to shut me up.
It ain't going to be about Darlington. It's going to be about Hocevar next week.
Hocevar and your fan base. All right, so let's go to my dark horse. I'm actually going to ride the wave. I'm going with Ty Gibbs.
Okay.
I'm going with Ty Gibbs. 15 average finish since the start of 2023 here. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 1.8% of the laps led. JGR equipment. I really do like JGR equipment at Darlington. They're really good there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm picking 3 Toyotas this week. Last week I picked all Chevrolet. This week I'm picking all Toyotas. So Jake is going with Ryan Blaney, Keselowski, Buescher wants to watch, and Kyle Larson as his dark horse. Me, I'm going with Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe to 1 to watch, and Ty Gibbs is my dark horse. So, all right. it's a wrap. Takes us to checkered flag on tonight's episode, folks. So appreciate everyone chiming in, tuning in. We didn't get anybody on the answers this week for the koozie giveaway. We'll post them on the Thursday Broken Wolverine Podcast Facebook page. Question of the week. Try to get some koozies out to all of you. And we appreciate everyone's love and support. Again, if you enjoy what you're hearing, feel free to tune in and chime in with us every single Wednesdays on our YouTube live and Facebook live stream. Also, if you miss us, that's okay. We got plenty of social media to follow. We got Facebook at the Broken Wolverine Podcast, TikTok at the Broken Wolverine Pod. And then finally, if you miss all of us, whether it's live stream, whether it's our videos, whether it's our posts, and you're like working, it's late, all that type of stuff, follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music at the Broken Wolverine Podcast for your listening viewership on the previous episode. So again, don't want any of our fans to miss us. We're always open. Always open. Always find a way to be open, right?
Yep. One more thing about Darlington before we let you guys go. Me and Matt will talk. We don't know if we want to do a koozie for this or not, but I want to do a little fun thing. I'm going to post it on Facebook, and I'm going to make a video on TikTok. I want to know the under-over of the amount of cars you think is going to get the Darlington stripe come the checkered flag.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
How many cars are going to touch that wall?
Probably a lot. Legacy definitely is going to hit it. I'm so done with
I'll
Legacy.
tell you, Larson's going to hit it.
Yep, definitely. But with all that being said, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy, if you're going to the race, enjoy this Goodyear 400. I almost said Southern 500. We are not there yet. Sorry. But enjoy the Goodyear 400 down at Darlington. And if you're watching wherever you're at, have a wonderful race weekend. We'll chat with all you next week live on YouTube and Facebook at the Broken Wolverine Podcast. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Be blessed. Jake, talk to you next week.
Yep. See you guys.
He didn't slam you. He didn't bump you. He didn't nudge you. He rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.